Hello everyone, my name is Alexandra Bernobrand. I'm a neuroscience student in master program and I have a bachelor degree in psychology. Since the pandemic, many people who recovered from COVID-19 found themselves still struggling. They suffer from memory lapses, brain fog, or difficulties concentrating long after the virus is gone. It's post-COVID syndrome or PCS. Today, I'll tell you about a fascinating study that tries to understand why these problems persist by looking at how the immune system might affect the brain. As you may know, the biological mechanisms of post-COVID syndrome are still being understood. Without predictive biomarkers, developing therapeutic options is not possible. In other words, if we want to help PCS patients, we have to understand why they keep experiencing cognitive disorders long after infection. The aim of this study was to detect autoantibodies in PCS patients. Autoantibodies attack the body's own cell by mistake. They were found in the blood and in the CSF. Then the researcher checked if they were linked to cognition. So, how did they test this hypothesis? Let's take a look at the methods. They conduct a prospective study including 50 patients with self-reported cognitive complaints. For each patient, serum and CSF samples were collected. On the one hand, cognitive performance was assessed using the Montreal Cognitive Assessment, as known as MoCA. On the other hand, to look for antibodies, the researchers used a method called indirect immunofluorescence. This method basically makes the antibodies glow under the microscope, so scientists can see exactly where they stick in the brain tissue. In practice, they exposed mouse brain tissue to patients' samples to see which areas light up. To make it simple, the autoantibodies are like little soldiers that gather around the castor walls, the neurons and brain cells they want to attack. And thanks to this method, we can finally see where these soldiers are hiding. Finally, they compared these immunological findings with the MoCA cognitive scores. And this is important because it connects biology to behavior. With this in mind, let's move on to the results. They found that 18 patients had abnormal MoCA scores, indicating cognitive impairment. Among all 50 patients, showed anti-neuronal autoantibodies in their blood or CSF. But here is the key point. Those who had antibodies in the CSF, not only in the blood, showed significantly lower cognitive scores, and this link was highly significant. In addition, the researchers observed different antibody binding patterns targeting specific brain structures, such as Purkinje neurons, astrocytes, the hippocampus, and cerebral blood vessels. But who are all these creatures? Let's take a closer look. Purkinje neurons are essential for movement and coordination. Astrocytes are the brain's support cells. They nourish neurons, regulate their environment, and help clean up waste. The hippocampus is a key brain region involved in memory formation. This suggests that post-COVID autoimmunity can affect various brain regions, a sort of diverse immune response triggered by the infection. In short, these results show that the immune system might play a central role in the cognitive symptoms of post-COVID syndrome. Of course, several questions remain open. The exact target proteins still need to be identified, and future studies should determine whether removing these antibodies. Beyond COVID-19, this research opens new perspectives on post-viral brain disorders and brings hope for more personalized medicines in the future. To conclude, testing cerebrospinal fluid for brain-binding antibodies could become a useful tool to identify patients who might benefit from targeted immune treatment. Thank you for watching and for caring about those who are still facing cognitive challenges after COVID-19.